All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Hello, X Shivi. I'll just call you X. Welcome. Great to see you. So yeah, today's stream. First of all, happy Monday, I guess I should say, for everyone working. Anyway, so today we're going to be working on a couple of things. I have some UI improvements that I've been working on that I want to finish up, mostly related to the tooltips and whatnot. I think the tooltips are much improved. We may do some other UI work too, I'm not sure, but there's also a passive or two that I want to work on, and I think that, well, I've got a whole list of things to do here. So we'll just kind of like go through the list and find some cool things to do. It'll be a little bit more of a chill stream. I don't really have a super strong agenda for this morning. Everything needs to get done, so I'll just kind of like pick things and figure out where we're going from there. But I do know what I'm going to do first, which is to update this gun part unlock screen here to have better usage of the tooltips that I've redone. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Before I get into it, I'd like to remind everyone that all of the ways you can support me are linked in the description below. If you're interested in financially supporting me, you can purchase one of my Udemy courses. The links for those are below, as I mentioned. Those will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine using 2D and either GDScript or C#. So I have a course for both. So check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, you can wishlist Gunforged and purchase that when it comes out very soon. Still targeting the end of February. We'll see. I'm kind of in grind mode right now, so we'll see if I can get everything situated so that an end of February release is comfortable. Otherwise, it will happen within the first couple of weeks of March. But I'm really wanting to get this out because it's almost there. So anyway, yeah, please check out the description below. That's all the ways you can support me, and let's get right into it. Hello, Emerson. Welcome back. Good morning, AnyKey. Great to see you both. Alrighty, so yeah, first things first, I want to update some of these tooltips. So first of all, let me show you what I've done with the tooltips here. I made the tooltips a little bit more informative. I made them a little bit more sensible from a technical standpoint and unified a bunch of code. So a lot of it is just technical work that I did here, but I've added rune icons to the tooltips, which are redundant in some cases, but I think they're still pretty nice. So you can see you've got the bleed, and then it has the icon in the tooltip as well and tells you what it does. And then that happens over here as well. But the real place where this is nice is when you hover over the gun parts, because now instead of just having plain old text that tells you what rune is associated with it, you actually get the rune icon. So it's a lot easier to understand what runes are on the gun parts as innate runes when you're looking at them. So yeah, so that's basically what I've got going on here. And I've just been updating the various UIs, and the gun part unlock screen is like the last UI I think that I really need to show a tooltip for. But the one thing that I want to do first is, if I go to my inventory tooltip, I actually want to rename this to gun part tooltip. And I'm going to go ahead and just rename this inventory tooltip. Rename gun part tooltip. Okay, and then rename this gun part tooltip. All right, and then I can go ahead and open that. Rename this gun part tooltip, and then I'll need to update that everywhere. Gun part tooltip. Oops. Rename that. Okay, so we'll rename those, and then I need to go and rename those also Gunforge UI here. Okay, just a little bit of a cleanup there. Let's see if it builds properly. I think those were the only two places where I'm using it currently, so just make sure it still works. Yep, it still works there. Just make sure it works here. Okay, still works. All right. So with that out of the way, rename inventory tooltip. Now I can go ahead and put that into the gun part unlock screen. So I have, for some reason, just duplicated a bunch of tooltip code here. So this is going to go bye-bye. Instantiate gun part tooltip. Boom. All right, so now... all of this stuff needs to go away. Info title. All that going away. Okay, cool. Hello, Zyloft. Hello, sorry to say, or hello, tried to say my son and I enjoyed your game demo, but my phone's touchscreen wigged out. Oh, nice. Well, very cool. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Hopefully the new demo that's coming out before release and the game itself are even better. I've made a bunch of changes that have made the game so much better. So yeah, the fact that you enjoyed that demo and it's been improved is a good sign, I think. So thank you. Hello, D-Rose. Hope your day is going well. Yep, it is so far. I hope development on Gunforge is going well. Can't wait to play it when it's done. I've been playing the demo and can't wait for it to fully release. All right, well, it's coming. It's coming. Thank you. It'll be here soon. But yeah, it's just trying to find the right balance of like, when should I release it versus when should I spend a little bit more time on it, you know? So I'm just trying to figure out the right balance there, but get rid of this. Process. Oh. Yeah. So I'm going to create a new node here. Gun part tooltip. Okay. This can all be gun part tooltip. That. Sweet. I'm going to get rid of this. Right, I'm going to need to show it as locked. Okay, so I'm going to need to modify my gun part, but let's do this. Gun part tooltip.show tooltip part. This is dragging. I'm going to get rid of this because I have a new way of doing that. Gun part tooltip dot is dragging data. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to need to make a bunch of changes because there are some locked things that need to remain locked or show as locked. But let's just see if that initial work pans out here. Okay, that looks fine. And then this, yeah, this needs to show as locked. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. Go to this gun part. I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, so we've got the locked label. So what I'll do is I'll end up hiding this. Yeah. Okay. Private label, locked label. Locked label dot visible equals false. Public void set locked. Locked label dot visible equals true. Rune description container dot visible equals false. And we also want to hide all those. So now if I go down here, is locked. Gun part tooltip dot set locked. Or actually I should call this show locked. Just to be consistent, show locked. And this is only if okay, let's see what that does. Very nice. So yeah, it just loses all the rune and the drag and whatnot stuff. Cool. Now let's see what happens. Wait a minute. Show tooltip. These things all need to be true here. So those are on by default. And then they get hidden. So these controls for dragging and equipping and whatnot. Now that still needs to be hidden though. Let me think. Still needs to be hidden. So those should not be visible unless I have the ability to customize my guns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say public void hide equip controls. Yeah, that should work. And then what I'll do is I'll just call that here. This is still relatively messy as a tooltip, but okay. So now in the gun part unlock screen, what I can do gun part tooltip dot, well, this will hide the equip controls, yeah. So else if not, what was it? Has, let me see, has loadout selection. Can I do that here? Yeah, that works. Okay. So then else if not has loadout selection, gun part tooltip dot hide equip controls. Okay. Hello, Snup Bill. Welcome back to the stream. Thank you so much again for the IDR 20,000 with the classic message yummers. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. Very generous. Okay. So now let's try it with the equipage. So I'll just reverse that flag there so we get the equip. All right, so this should still be locked. Oh, I can still drag it when it's locked. That's no good. I need to fix that, but I should be able to do this now. And I can see all these. Equip to left gun, equip to right gun. So I could create copies of the same gun. Might as well. But yeah, I need to prevent the ability of dragging these locked things. So I just need to disable drag. It looks like I'm handling the right click and everything, but on gun part button pressed. Am I still using that? On gun part button pressed. I'm not using that, so get rid of that. Always nice to delete code. On gun part button drag began. I need to check if this is unlocked. Oh, wait, how am I going to prevent dragging? Is drag disabled? Is drag disabled? So I need to set drag disabled. So I need to disable the drag on the button. So that means here, if not is unlocked, button, button.disable drag. Okay, I think that should do it. So now I shouldn't be able to drag the non-unlocked things anymore. Yep, doesn't work. Oh, wait. Ah, shoot. Handle click to drag. I need to change this. Begin drag. Yeah, I need to handle it in here. Is drag disabled? Return. Goodness, goodness. All right. There's so many like minor things here with the UI, but so yeah, the way that my drag and drop works is that you can either click once to pick up the item and it becomes like it forces a drag, or you can hold down the button and release. So I'm kind of like, I'm using the button click as a way of forcing the drag. One of the weird things though is that I can't put this back, and I can't remember the reason why. I think because when I click here, it disables the drag data before it handles the button press, and that means that it's essentially just re-dragging it. So there's like an order of operations issue there, which I have not yet resolved, but so yeah, I could totally do like frog gun, boom, and then necromancer gun over there. I should change the title. It should change to frog gun when you get the full set. Anyway. So I need to reverse that flag that I reversed. Cool. All right. So added new tooltip to gun part unlocks screen. All right. I'm going to call this good. So we add a rune icon to the gun tooltip. Also updated the gun part UI. I might just go ahead and say update gun part unlocked screen with new tooltips. Add a card there so I can mark it as done immediately. All right. So yeah, now we can get into some content development, which should be a little bit more interesting here. I never like doing UI work, especially like on stream. It's a little bit boring, a little bit tedious, but there's a couple of issues I can resolve here, a couple of bugs. I do want to fix the drag and drop stuff, but I think I'm going to do some content work first. I need some more like haunt status related passives. I probably need some more lightning related passives, which is what I'm going to do here. When switching guns, release a lightning bolt for every bullet that was fired. So I think this is going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I want to actually look at the thunderstorm passive. Spawn zap. Okay. Let me look at this. Thunderstorm over here. After killing, I want to put this here. Okay. Yeah, so I want to do... I'm going to change this to enemies affected by shock. So I'm going to do a lightning passive. So this one is, yeah, when switching guns, release a lightning bolt for every bullet that was fired. So let's go ahead and start on that. So let's create a new passive resource. I'm going to call this, affix, or no, not affix resource. Create new passive resource. This is going to be called static. Okay. Description. When switching guns, unleash a... what do I want to call it? How did I word it here? When switching guns, unleash a lightning bolt for every bullet that was fired, dealing 25% weapon DPS. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. I just heard a bang. I gotta make sure that that's nothing wrong with my house. All right, we're all good. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome back. I actually like seeing you work on UI. It's one of the things I struggle with in Godot. Yeah, UI is a struggle for sure. I'm kind of struggling making top-down art for my game. Any tips? Pixel art. Well, welcome, Tetrisloth. Top-down art. Well, top-down art is hard. Like, is it pure top-down, or is it like a gun-forged kind of top-down where it's got a weirder perspective? I mean, I think I would just point you to... So I made a pixel art tips video. I don't know if that helps you where you're at in your art. Maybe you're a little bit more advanced, but that's kind of like a beginner sort of pixel art video for people who want to know how to accelerate learning pixel art. So I made a video on that, which you can check out. That might help you a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think... So the basic advice, the way that I started learning pixel art is figure out what I want to do. So if in your case, if you've got a top-down aesthetic that you're looking for, look at a game or a series of games that use that art style, and then just try to like study, you know, what they're doing, how they're placing their pixels, try to emulate that in your own art. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really the only way to do it. And I would recommend starting with a bunch of constraints too. So make sure you're using a smallish canvas size, use a limited color palette. just try to give yourself a bunch of constraints, because then you can really focus on just the process of placing each pixel and getting it to look right. So those are very general tips, but again, you could check out that video I made. I go a little bit more in depth on some of that stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's really just study the stuff you want to emulate and try to emulate it. And you're going to not produce very good sprites at the start, but keep at it. Watch pixel art videos on YouTube, tutorials on YouTube, and eventually your art will get better. At least that's what happened in my experience. So I actually should have kept a lot of the early art stuff that I did, because it would be nice to compare it. But I think I trashed a lot of the stuff that I was working on when I was first getting into it. What am I doing? Oh yeah. So I need to create a static passive. Static passive. Save. Oops. Oh no. I don't want to do that. Delete. Delete, save as. Scenes, component, passive, static passive. Okay. Game.component.passive. This needs to extend player passive. We'll make this stack up to 3 times. Feature tags, lightning. Let's do 25% times. Well, this has to be bars, 25 times 0% weapon DPS. Okay, we'll have to see how this works. All right, so now we get into the interesting part, which is, I think what I want is take over the resource preloader here. I am going to copy this spawn zap here. We're gonna have to change this logic here. But on entity died, I don't need that. On timer timeout, I do need that. So the idea here is that I'll keep track of the number of bullets. And then when the weapon swap happens, I will just keep track of how many zaps need to be spawned, and I will do those in an interval so they don't all come down at the same time. What is this timer? 0.1. Yeah, so I'll probably just do a timer here, 0.1, one shot, not auto start. Okay. Now, I want to target this differently, though. What I think I want to do is... actually, how do I want to do this? How should this attack pattern be? Should it just go outward in a cone wherever the player is aiming? I might do that, actually. That sounds more interesting than what I was gonna do. So, static passive... So let me rewrite this. Unleashing lightning bolts. Well, maybe that could just be a hidden mechanic. I'll just basically make it, the way I want to do it is increase the range at which every lightning bolt is summoned every time one is summoned. And so what will happen is it will be like this growing outward V that will just kind of like zap everything in front. So I think I'll do that. Private float initial distance. Private const float distance between zaps. Let's do 24. We'll say initial distance is equal to distance between zaps. Okay, so this is not going to be math-util rand direction. I want to get the aim direction. Do I have aim direction? Is that easily achievable? Input manager, get aim position. Get aim position. Create bullet in direction. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm actually... Global rotation of the assembled gun. Okay. All right. Okay. Do I have a way of getting the aim direction? I'll just do it. There's no reason to get super technical about this. I'll just do it this way. So var target position is equal to this dot get player dot center position. Otherwise, I don't know, vector 2.0, I suppose. So we'll take the center position of the player dot direction to input manager dot get aim position. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, well, vector 2 dot right. All right, var player is equal to this dot get player. You know what we'll do? We'll just say if player is equal to null, which should never happen, but for safety purposes, we'll just return early out of there. And then what we'll do is we will get the var initial position is equal to this dot get player center position. Again, since this is going to be guaranteed, I don't need to do any of this yet. Actually, I should change this to player. Come on. There we go. Var aim position is equal to player dot input manager dot get aim position. So initial position dot direction to aim position. So this is our initial, let's just do direction here. Then what I'm going to do is create private const float spread degrees. Let's do 30 to start with. And what I'll do is I'll say direction is equal to direction dot rotated degrees, negative math-util dot rng dot randf range, negative spread degrees divided by 2, spread degrees divided by 2. So it's going to go negative 15 or positive 15, so a spread of 30. And that's going to give us our direction. Then what I can do is I can say, okay, my var target position is equal to private int zaps spawned. So this is going to be I don't know why I have this initial distance here. Var distance is equal to zaps spawned plus 1 times distance between zaps. Target position is equal to the initial position plus direction times distance. Okay, so there's our target position. I think that's right. Get base level, parent, add child zap, yeah. We're going to change this global position here. This position, actually, get rid of all this. I do need to do a raycast of the terrain. So this dot get base level bullets, add child zap. Let's do a raycast first. So this is going to be from the initial position to the target position. And then we're going to override the target position with the raycast position or the target position. Add child zap. I haven't changed the zap. Oh, dot start. I don't know how this is working. So we're just going to let that do that. Zap.explosion created. Set damage. This doesn't seem right to me. Get weakest gun stats. Do I want to use the weakest gun stats here? I might as well just make it. Of your weakest gun. So the damage... Private const float damage percent per occurrence. I keep forgetting if occurrence has 2 C's in it. Hello, Dzoe. Welcome back. Hello, Neozoid. Good to see you as well. What do I add now as the frog clear? Right now I'm adding a passive that will count up all the bullets that you shot, and then when you switch to your other gun, it will release a lightning bolt for every bullet that you shot. So if you've got a magazine capacity of like 24 and you exhaust it, and then you switch to your other gun, it's going to send 24 lightning bolts all in front of you. It's going to be crazy. But the DPS here, so let's see, var damage percent is equal to DPS, damage percent per occurrence times occurrences. How many stacks? I said it can stack up to 3 times. DPS percent, we're not doing that. Set damage. Yeah. Why am I doing this? Damage per second times damage percent. Zap.explosion created plus equals, yeah, that should work. So now I just need to keep track of this target zaps here. So let me think. How am I going to check if the weapon has been swapped? Do I have a weapon swap? Game events. Well, let's see. Private int stored charges. I might as well do this while I'm thinking of it. Public override void or string get current bonus text format return current bonus charges. Let's do charges instead. 1. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. Zap spawned, stored charges. Okay, so we're just going to increment the zap spawned. If zap spawned is less than stored charges, timer doesn't start. Now the thing is, these need to be reset to 0 when a gun is swapped or when a new charge should come about. So let me think about this. Let me first check and see how I can actually listen for that weapon swap, because I'm not actually sure. Player, pre-fire, game event. Do I have which gun this is coming from? Oh, it is coming. Okay. So I know which gun slot is coming from a pre-fire. Now, does this player pre-fire event... Sorry, I just thought of something. Oh, wait. Literally, that's the one at the bottom. Okay. I'm actually going to put that at the top. Just a tweak I want to make to an affix. Anyway, let's not get off track here. Emit player pre-fire. Where is this being used? On pre-fire. This doesn't help. On pre-fire. Left gun.prefire. This is calling fire. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So the problem here is that I've got an affix that will automatically fire the gun that's on your back. Or it has a chance to. The problem is that that emits the pre-fire signal. And so that can mess up my static passive here. Because if I'm listening to the pre-fire event to determine when the weapons are switching, then it's possible that I'm just going to like be shooting one gun. The gun on my back is going to be shot automatically because of an affix that I have, and that counts as a pre-fire, and so now it's going to like mess up the whole flow. So I need to figure out a way around that without breaking anything. So the obvious question is, can I remove the pre-fire event if this is being fired in an automatic fashion? And my hunch is probably not. On pre-fire. Try fire current slot. So what I'll do here... Oh man, I actually don't know if I should change this. Player pre-fire. Yeah, so the interesting thing about this is that I still need to listen to the pre-fire for the gun that's being shot on the back, because then it can handle all the affixes that are associated with that gun when it gets shot. So I actually need to keep that in place. So that's good. Okay, so I'll leave that in place. So I can't do anything with the pre-fire. I think all I need to do then is probably just add an extra piece of information to that event, which is what is the current held gun. So current held gun slot. So these pieces of data can be different because this is the slot that's being, this is the slot that's of the gun that's being shot, but this is the slot of the gun that the player is currently holding. Is this wrong? Oh, is it just outdated? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's going to give me the information that I need. I think that's the only place where player pre-fire is omitted. Yeah, okay. So that's easy enough. So what I can do now in the static passive is I can connect to that. So I can do game events.instance.connect, game events.signal name dot player pre-fire event, callable.from on player pre-fire. Okay, we'll get this all set up. Okay, do you keep some of your audience's ideas and implement them in games you make? How helpful would that be if yes? Yeah, I mean, there's a number of suggestions that I've implemented in Gunforged and whatnot, and even if I don't take your suggestion directly, which I don't in a lot of cases, but even if I don't take it directly, oftentimes your suggestions will spark a related idea in my brain. So yeah, feel free to make suggestions, but yeah, just don't be offended if I say, I'm not going to do that, because, you know, ultimately I have to decide what's right for the game. But yes, please feel free to make suggestions. Hello, Breckheck. Welcome back to the stream. Great to see you. What's your approach to coming up with a video idea, script, and editing? Yeah, so I don't really have... So there are some videos that I make that are just kind of like trending videos in the indie dev space, like the video I made about the tools that I use. Those kind of videos were popular, and I had already received requests from viewers asking like what my workflow looks like. So that's how I decided to do that. For the script, yeah, the script is basically I just sit down and I just write the script. I have a little word counter that tells me roughly how long it will take to read the script. So I try to hit like around the 10-minute mark with the script. And what I usually do is I write the script in one sitting, just how I'd write it. And then I let it sit for like a day or so, and I keep revisiting it and rereading it and just making edits and cuts and everything to it. I just kind of let it sit for a little bit so I don't just immediately go from producing it to creating the video. So it has time to improve a little bit before I do the video. But yeah, otherwise, like video ideas, they don't, sometimes they'll just come to me. Like I'll just be doing something random. I'll be like, oh, that would make a cool video idea. And I just write it down. I have a separate Kanban board for like my personal ideas. So I just write that idea down, and then I can like forget it because I can come back to it later if I want to make a video one day, and I can just look at my list of ideas. Yeah, but as far as editing is still something that I'm learning. Trying to make the editing more engaging and a little bit faster paced, and yeah, I don't know. It's video production is a whole different skill set, and I'm still not very good at it, so lots to do there. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. So on player pre-fire, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if player pre-fire event dot gun slot is not equal to player pre-fire event. Oh wait, that's gonna... Right. Then we're just gonna return. So if the player pre-fire event is not coming from the gun that is currently held, then we'll just ignore that event, basically. Otherwise, what I'm gonna do gun slot. Let's see. Player held gun. Player held gun is equal to this dot get player dot gun manager dot current slot. Otherwise, player gun manager dot gun slot dot left. Okay, so now I can say if player pre-fire event dot gun slot is not equal to player held gun. So this was the last gun that the player held. What we're going to do is we're going to say player held gun is equal to player pre-fire event dot gun slot. And then we need to unleash the charges here. Begin unleash charges. Otherwise, we are going to say stored charges plus equals plus, oh, so plus plus. So now private void begin unleash. I am going to need to do probably another int, unleashing stored charges. So what I want to do is I want to say zaps spawned equals 0, unleashing stored charges is equal to stored charges, set the stored charges equal to 0 so that can start counting up again. So I can say begin unleash if timer, if not timer dot is stopped. Actually, does to start restart the timer? If it was not started already. What are you doing? So that begin unleash will happen. This shouldn't be an else, actually. This should just always happen. So if the gun slot is not equal to the gun that I had marked as the player currently held gun, that means that there's been a switch. And we'll do the begin unleash. That will set the zap spawn to 0, set the unleashing stored charges to stored charges, reset stored charges. Now here, unleashing stored charges. Yeah, I have no idea how this is going to work, but we'll try it. You are welcome, Breckheck. List of ideas. Did you create a second brain too? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just a simple list. It's not, I wouldn't call it a second brain. It's just kind of like a ragtag list of things. Okay. I'm just double checking. I think that this is okay. Well, let's give it a shot. We will give it a shot. Okay. It didn't work. Oh, I know why it didn't work. Because I'm not done with it. Okay. Testing time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are testing things. Okay. Add passive static. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. That's pretty cool. And it follows the direction that I'm aiming to. Sweet. Might need to add some kind of cooldown to that, but we'll see. That's pretty cool. That's like Soul, by the way. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that's a reference to. That's like Soul. Is like the movie Soul? Hey, could you quickly wow, I had an easy time saying that. Can you quickly explain how the resource preloader node works? How do you use it in code? I mean, the documentation is pretty clear on this. Daniel, welcome to the stream, by the way. But the resource preloader, all it does is it's just a node that holds references to any resource, packed scenes or otherwise. And when the node enters the tree, it preloads all those resources. I'm not really using it for the resource preloading capabilities. I'm just using it as like a store of things that I'm planning to instantiate. And I just look it up. So then you can just get the resource by name. So in my case, I would get it by the name Zap here. And then that returns the path, or returns the packed scene for me so that I can instantiate it. But yeah, the docs are pretty clear on that. So you just need to go to the resource preloader and it will tell you everything. Glass cannon. I'm just testing, so might as well take glass cannon. Boom. I think that's working pretty well. How does it sound? Is it too annoying? Oh, no, it's not that bad. So now if I add okay, add another one. Seems to be working just fine. Sweet. I think that's pretty good. Do you know the movie Casper? The shot just like a ghost coming out. I've heard of the movie, I haven't seen it though. In a game like this, you are only unloading the tile set for the map and enemies, right? Everything else, as I understand, would always be loaded. Only unloading the tile set for the map and enemies. Yes, I think generally speaking that's correct. So if you're talking like the rooms, the arenas get instantiated and then they obviously stay in the whole time. But the enemies, yeah, the enemies are being created on demand and destroyed on demand. Only unloading the tile set for the map and enemies. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's all remaining loaded and unloaded. There's a lot of stuff that remains, like a lot of my resources, my custom resources remain loaded in the whole time because I'm storing them in like registries that I call them where I can fetch them easily. So yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of stuff remains kind of loaded in. Do you still have to change the reference when you move a scene to another folder, or does it fix that problem? As far as I'm aware, yeah, when you move things around, it will be updated everywhere that Godot supports it. I think that includes the resource preloader. Might as well change this to current held gun slot. Usually it's automatic because of UIDs. Oh, I got you. What is the end of this game? Is there a limit? Well, there are 3 levels, and each level is its own self-contained run with 20 waves. So the end of a run is you beat all 20 waves. And there's 3 different levels where you can do that. Each one is a little bit more difficult than the last. And that's basically it. And there will be stuff to unlock. There's the whole meta upgrade system that you can unlock here. All the weapons you can unlock here. All the runes you can unlock here. And yeah. So yeah, but that's how the game works. So that's what the goal is. It's a roguelike, so you just basically try to win the run. I think that this is working pretty well. So I've got an error here though. Is dragging data. Why was that happening? Does it happen every time I open it? Well, it got a little error here I need to address. Oh. What is not permanent to get? The OP skills you tried yesterday? I mean, it's a roguelike, so like nothing is permanent, right? Like that's the point. You can unlock eventually the ability to configure your starting guns, so you have some control over your initial build that you go into the level with, but everything else is up to what you find inside of the run. There are permanent upgrades here, but these are not related specifically to your abilities. They're more so like stat improvements or things that change how the game works. But yeah, there's no like permanent equipment or anything. That issue is gone now, so that's good. Oh, you know what? Let me think. This needs to have a name here. I need to make that change real quick. All right, anyway. Add static passive. All right, we can call that done. Bam. What platforms do you release for? It's just going to be the desktop platforms. So Linux, Mac, Windows. For now. Can't do like Steam Deck until I have controller support, which I may not do. Right-click prompt label. That might be the problem. Demo warning label. Oh, gun part unlock screen. I might need to show that. Okay, there's a couple of tooltip improvements I still need to make here, but first, let me keep track of what I need to do. So, gun part tooltip. So to do, show affix name in innate label, and then also to do, show demo warning label. Demo. Is demo? I forgot how the demo works. I'm gonna have to look at this. Let's see. File history, open file history, demo warning labels. Okay. So I just need to add a demo warning label to this gun part tooltip then. So locked. I'm just going to do this before I forget. Okay. Public void show demo warning. Are you kidding me? Show demo warning. Demo warning label dot visible equals true. Okay. You have no plan to release it on Play Store and App Store? I do not, no. No, because that requires extra resources that I don't have. I can't just like one-click deploy to consoles and whatnot, and I also would need controller support anyway. So, also, yeah, I guess Play Store and App Store, you're referring to mobile. This game will not be on mobile. I probably won't be publishing any games on mobile. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when I come back, we will tidy up some of this UI stuff, this tooltip stuff, and maybe work our way through a couple of these bugs that are bugging me, get it? But in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. Pick up one of my courses on Udemy. It's a great way to financially support me and kickstart your Godot learning. So yeah, give me just 2 minutes here. I'll be right back, and then we will continue on with the Gunforged work. Alrighty, I'm back. Alright, let's go ahead and get right back into it. So, what am I doing here? Gun part unlock screen. Let's see. So, show locked. So in here, so I basically just want this here. If options manager is demo and button gun part resource is not available in demo, gun part tooltip.show demo warning. All right, and then the way that we can test this is I can go to debug, customize run instances, add my demo flag here, and then go ahead and, I didn't need to build it, but that's all right. We'll go ahead and build it. And then run it. What fun thing should we work on? Does anyone have anything they want to see me do in the remainder of the stream here? How hard is it to actually make a game that's on all platforms, Linux, Mac, and Unix, Android, and iPhone? It's not hard from a technical standpoint if you're using an engine that supports all those things. Like I could one-click export to all of those platforms that you list from Godot. I mean, with Android and Apple, there are extra things that you need to do to get like your build system set up, specifically with Apple, I think, so that you can actually get your app packaged and notarized and whatnot for the App Store. But that's all something you can do yourself, and Godot does support that stuff out of the box, I believe. So it's not technically challenging to publish to all those platforms. I guess I was more thinking of the console platforms that have closed ecosystems where you have to, there is no one-click support for those exports. But yeah, I mean, you can, in theory, make a game that runs on all those platforms you listed. Okay, I was going to check out. Why am I not getting the is not available in demo? Is my cow gun available in the demo? Oh, well, that's why. Okay. So I actually don't have anything that's... Okay. Here's what I'll do. I need to just edit my save file here. Save.json. Let's just delete all of my unlocks. We'll just delete all of my unlocks here. Okay. You are welcome. I meant to ask you, from your experience, do you think it's possible that a group of programmers and artists can open their own studio with a game that they made? I think this would be the startup route. I'm not an expert on running an actual game company or any company for that matter. But, I mean, I think it's possible. It's obviously possible. I think what I can speak to, though, is like... It's really hard to get everyone to work to the extent that's required for a new company, especially when the company's not making any money. So in other words, if you can't afford to hire these people that you want to work with you as a startup, it's probably not going to go well. Even trying to find two people that are equally compassionate about a game such that they'll work on it for years without getting paid is very, very difficult to do. Any more than that is like practically impossible. So I would say probably it's unrealistic to start a successful studio unless you are paying the people who are working at that studio. I certainly would not try to start a studio unless I had the funds to actually pay a full-time salary for the people I wanted to work. Because it just wouldn't work out. I know a couple of developers who actually did that. They started a studio. Is it profitable? Yeah, we need money. No money, hard to survive, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's a couple of these that are not available in the demo, which is great. Okay. This appears to be working just fine, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that customize run instances here. Okay, so let me just go ahead and fix this. Get rid of these. Oh, I need to show the affix name in the innate label. Right. Okay, so this innate label here, innate affix label. Private. Do I not? Private label innate affix label. Innate affix label dot text is equal to string dot format innate affix format with the name, which is going to be innate affix dot resource dot display name. Okay, so we've got that. So now if I go here, this innate, what I'm going to do is change this. There we go. Okay, let's see if that works. So go over here now. Innate, poison. Yeah, there we go. So now it's got the name next to the innate text there. Perfect. So that just gives a little bit of extra information about what the rune is, because before the name wasn't there. And that's slightly different than this tooltip, which has the title as the orange text at the top. It also specifically says where the rune is coming from. Yeah, so there we go. Shotgun receiver, boom, boom, boom. Good. Excellent. Okay. This is getting laggy. I need to fix this up. Anyway. All right. So gun part tooltip improvements. It's getting there though. It's gradually getting there. But they went all the way to Montreal, Canada. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, maybe someday I'll be that successful. Or I'll be able to start a studio, maybe. Or maybe not. I always love having your stream in the background while I work on my game dev after work. Yeah, come on in. Nice, cozy, productive stream. Great to have you here. Joe Games? I don't know how to say it. How did you decide to use pixel art instead of other graphic arts? I figured pixel art would be the easiest, not in terms of like the technically easiest, but it would be the most time efficient stuff to do. I mean, pixel art looks good. It makes games feel very stylized and indie, which is kind of like what I'm going for, but also it doesn't take that long to make. So yeah, mostly just for speed and efficiency purposes. I also just really like pixel art. I think it was just a skill that I wanted to learn. Hello, Dione. Welcome back. Great to see you. All right, let's see what we got next up on the docket. Bullet pierce and skeleton bullets. We got some bugs here. Make loot more common based on level type. Make runes drop in a similar manner to health globes. Gun scrambler UI issues, drag and drop issues. Limit the number of spins of the prize wheel and add a meta upgrade to increase spins. Fixed wheel can be spun while wave transitions happening. Is there anything else in here? Make weapon parts of the same type more common in loot table dynamically. Oh, I see. Let's see what I got in the player passive ideas. Like I said, I don't really have anything concrete to do. Obviously, all these things need to be done here, but I'm trying to figure out something that's a little bit more interesting for the stream here. These are not good. I'm just gonna start deleting things that I know I don't want to do. Spread fire to nearby enemies. That is an interesting one. So I just make the player like on fire basically. Yeah, that would be cool. So the player could just, yeah, the player could just apply fire to all the enemies in a certain radius. That would be cool. Chance on applying oil. When you take damage, a health goblin spawns. I'm going to not do that one. Dashing into enemies deals damage. I kind of already have that, so we'll get rid of that. That's boring. We're going to delete that one. Deal damage equivalent to your current gold. That's a bad idea. Delete. Spawn poison cloud when dashing. Boring. Frozen. We're not doing any freeze-related things, so get rid of ice nova and whatnot. Gain a burst of movement speed when applying shock to an enemy. That one could be interesting with a little bit of modification. Delete that one. We're not going to do that one. Delete. This one might be interesting still. We're going to get rid of this. Delete. Freeze. We're not doing freeze. Not doing blight. Increase damage the longer players stay still. No, boring. Apply charm to an enemy. Too difficult. Twin gun status is boring. Enemies that are hit while bleeding explode, dealing damage to nearby enemies. Boring. Chance not to consume ammo on fire. Boring. Chain lightning. Yes, chain lightning would be cool. Okay, so we've culled quite a few of those suggestions. Oil geyser that shoots oil projectiles. That's not very interesting either. I think the spread fire is kind of an interesting one, because I'm thinking that's going to combine well with combustion and the oil passive. So I have a passive that applies oil to nearby enemies, and then if I have one that also applies fire to nearby enemies, you could just have like those three passives, the combustion, the oil, and the fire, and just like any enemy that you get near just starts exploding, which would be really, really fun. So I'm probably going to do this, actually. That sounds good. In the country where I live, there are very few people who are truly professional at making pixel art, so that's why I want to learn pixel art. Well, there you go. I mean, it's all about finding that niche, right? And just taking advantage of the gaps in the market. Let's do spread fire to nearby enemies. Yeah, let's do that. So let's create a new passive here. I still need to create a couple more entities for the cave level. I'm just kind of like, I don't have any creative ideas for the new enemies. that I need to add. I need to do one more boss and probably, let's see, I've got gnomes, I've got crabs, I've got lobbers, and I've got the rock monsters. So I probably need 2 more normal enemies for the cave level, and then a second boss for the cave level. So I'm still thinking about those though, but I need to think more deeply. I need to think harder. Pants on fire. Continually apply fire stacks to nearby enemies. Max stacks 1. Cooldown time, no cooldown time. Fire. Pants on fire. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Project. No, scene, new scene. Pants on fire passive. Yeah. Ooh, this is gonna be really good actually. Pants on fire. Yeah. This is gonna work well with a couple of passives. Game.component.passive. So the question is, how do I want to do this? Should I use an area 2D and keep track of the entities coming into the area, or should I just do this where I fetch all the enemies every so often and then order them? I think I will use an area 2D. There was another passive that I used. Lifesteal. I don't remember. I thought there was another passive that I had that used an area 2D, but that's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a collision shape 2D. Let's make it a circle shape. 96. Okay. And we are going to set the collision layer and mask. What is the mask going to be? Player activation, enemy. Feet, ally activation, bullet. I guess just enemy here. Public override void. Ready. I need a reference to that area 2D. Node private area 2D. Public override void ready. I'm going to try something real quick. Private void apply burning. Or apply fire, rather. Can I do this? Area 2D.get overlapping areas. Yeah. For each var area in area 2D get overlapping areas. Var status receiver is equal to area.owner .get first node of type status receiver component. I guess I don't have to do that, right? So status receiver, apply status, fire status dot scene path, gun stats. Do I need the gun stats? I do need the gun stats, so this needs to be get player dot gun manager dot get weakest gun stats. If gun stats is equal to 0, or not equal to 0, equals null, return. My English so bad, sorry if my chat weird. That's all right. That's all right. It's good practice. Okay, so it's going to apply those gun stats. Is that duplicating the gun stats in here? I feel like I look at this every time. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to apply those gun stats there to every status receiver in the overlapping areas. And then I can just add a timer here. I'll set it to 0.25 one-shot auto start. So 4 times a second, it will be applying this. Node private timer timer. Whoops. Whoops. Timer dot timeout plus equals on timer timeout. Private void on timer timeout. Apply fire. Okay, so let's go ahead and give that a shot. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not make this extend player passive. That's very important, otherwise it won't work. Okay, add passive pants on fire. It is not working, and the reason it's not working is because I forgot to add code to update the area 2D. So, yeah, this passive, I wonder if I have any other passives that have a process method. Oh wait, I don't need to do a process method. All I need to do is this list is modified once during the physics step, not immediately after objects are moved. I don't really want to add a process method to continually update the position of the area 2D. I just don't want to generally have the passives all doing process methods, because that could add up pretty quick. So I might change this a little bit. So I'm going to create a hash set, and I'm actually going to do more traditional area 2D dot area entered plus equals on area entered. Area 2D dot area exited plus equals on area exited. Private void on area entered. Overlapping areas dot add. Area 2D other area. private void on area exited, area 2D, other area, overlapping areas dot, can I do try remove? I think I can just do that other area. Okay, and then in here, instead of get overlapping areas, I'll just do overlapping areas there. And the reason why this is going to work is because now I can move this into the player position. So var player is equal to this dot get player. Okay. Area 2D dot global position is equal to player dot global position, or do I want to do center position? No, let's just do player dot global position. So move the area 2D. That should update the area entered and area exited signals, but we'll see. I'm just going to do this visible collision shapes here. Oh, the other thing is that I'm going to need to change. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to need to disable it. The collision shape as well. Right, it's also one shot. Okay. I'll get this correct eventually. Okay, that seems to be working. But now I need it to just remain, I need it to be disabled. So let's grab a reference to this. I'm just going to call it collision shape. Node private collision shape 2D collision shape. Collision shape dot disabled equals true. Collision shape dot disabled equals false. Move the global position. Oh wait. Well, I guess we'll see if this works. I actually don't know if this is going to work. I guess we'll find out. It does not work. Okay, well, there's another way that I can handle this. We'll just move it off screen. Check it out. We'll just move it to -1,000, -1,000. Then it won't be colliding with anything. That's the little hack I'm gonna do. Oh, you know what? Am I still disabling it up here? I am. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of this. We're just gonna get rid of all that. All right. I just don't want, like, I don't want the passives to be constantly sapping, like, process frames. It probably would be fine in this instance, but I just want to stay out of the habit of doing that. That's not working either. So it doesn't update the overlapping areas immediately, it looks like. Oh wait, I never added the passive. Whoops. Wonder if there's something I can call. Can I call force update transform? Honestly, it just might be better at this point just to not use the physics system and just do what I was going to do initially, which was get an ordered list of all the entities in range. That's probably going to be faster even, honestly. I mean, I shouldn't be worried this much about it, but okay, we're going to delete the area 2D and not use this. Except, what was the range here? Radius was 96, okay. Private const float radius 96. Var enemies is equal to game utils dot get get all enemies. Okay, that's a little janky. Dot where x dot global position dot distance squared 2 player dot global position is less than or equal to radius times radius. Order by. I'll do this again. Select x dot get first node of type status receiver component dot where x is not equal to null. Okay, so that's going to give me all the enemy status receivers. And then I can just do for var status receiver. And that's it. So that's a little bit easier. I don't know why I wanted to use that area 2D, but that's all right. We'll just query the level for it, basically. We don't need any of those anymore. That's going to be just fine. It's going to be super fast. Okay. Now we can see if that works. Okay, that seems to be working pretty well. All right, now I want to see if that works with combustion. So let's see. Add passive oil aura. Add passive pants on fire. So now I'm doing oil and fire, and then add passive oil fire, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, so combustion creates a large explosion when fire is applied to an oiled enemy, dealing 20% DPS of your weakest gun. Yeah, look at that, it's triggering the explosions. Oh, it's only triggering against one enemy though? When fire is applied to an oiled enemy, dealing 20% of your DPS, consumes all oil stacks. 4-second cooldown. Does that really need a cooldown anymore? It would be really fun to just have that explode on every enemy. I'm gonna make that change right now. We are gonna get rid of that cooldown because that's an anti-fun cooldown. We're gonna turn down the max stacks though to like 3 cooldown. Oh, the cooldown time wasn't even correct. Anyway, we'll get rid of that. Oil and fire is available in demo, yeah. Okay, and then oil, fire passive. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay, let's see if that anti-fun has been squashed. Get rid of that anti-fun nonsense. There we go, look at that. So every time the oil gets applied, it just freaking explodes and deals a bunch of damage. And it's only 20% weapon DPS, so it's just like a little boost. You kind of have to stack that a couple times before it becomes useful, but now I can get close to enemies and just have them die. Sweet. Okay. So that was relatively simple once I got my head around what I was doing. But we can call that done now. Excellent. All right. Well, I think, yeah, that'll be it for the stream today. So got a lot of content done, got a couple of UI things good to go as well. Yeah, once again, Gunforged is just in content development mode, so I'm going to be working through a lot of the things you see on this board here. Got to work through this to-do list, got to add a bunch of sound effects. Again, I'm still trying to get everything done by the end of this month in terms of like the content, so we'll see how that goes. I think I'm on track, but I really got to buckle down. I only have like, what is that, 17 days? Or is there 31 days in January, so 18 days? So I basically got like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to get all the content for the game done, but I think that'll be fine. We'll see. I can always, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not on any like particularly tight deadline. The deadline's artificial, so if I need to move it, I'll move it, but I'm gonna try not to. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting my work. I very much appreciate it. And for anyone watching live right now or watching the VOD, again, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. You can pick up one of my Udemy courses, which is a great way to financially support me and kickstart your Godot learning journey. If you are interested in this game, Gunforged, you can wishlist that on Steam. That will be out within the next month and a half or so, if my ideal timeline holds. And yeah, everything else you need to know and see is down in the description below. So please check that out. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you in tomorrow's stream. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.